Before we start, do me a quick favor and leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment. Now, let's get moving.
What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to rank the Dragon Ball fights. It's time for another edition of Cheerless Tuesdays, boys and girls. So as you can see, we got the 5 tiers today. We got the Super Z tier because I was feeling corny today. We got the madness, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's insane, bro. They're just that good. Wild, like, oh my, they're wild. I'm okay with your existence, but I wouldn't really mind if you didn't exist. Like, it's cool. It's cool that you're there. I'm fine with that. And that's the thing. There are no real bad Dragon Ball fights. That's the thing. The lowest tier is because I'm just like, oh, okay, it probably had to happen for the narrative or something like that, or a stopgap. I can't think of a bad Dragon Ball fight because Copy Vegeta doesn't exist, and neither does many aspects of GT. But from this point on, let's just rank them. Now, sadly enough, actually, you know what? Nah, I like this fight alright, mainly because of the dynamic of it. The Android 18 versus Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. Like, what? The only issue I really have with this fight in particular is the fact that there's like, it's almost pointless in the grand scheme of things, and by the time we actually get a more interesting fight, which would be the two Saiyan hybrids going up against the android made to kill Saiyans, they're just going from the tournament because Android 18 cut them in half and exposed them. So that's kind of sad. I wish we got more. I wish like the tournament ref would have been like, hey, you know what? Android 18, go ahead, finish the fight, and we could have just seen the two go all out, because I feel like that would have been even better for showing or hyping the kids up beforehand before they go and do the Gotenks fusion thing, because really before their training and before everything, we don't necessarily have a set standard for where they are. I mean, we know Goten is able to like pressure Gohan a little bit, but it would have been cool to see them fight like a temporary antagonist that turned good. I feel like it would have been really interesting, but I think the fight is alright because it stops a bit too early. Tobo versus... I think this fight is wild, and I really like Tobo versus 17 and Frieza. I don't know. I mean, I guess Frieza just isn't mentioned there. The reason I like that fight so much is because it's literally 17 being like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. This guy's really strong. This guy's really strong. I need to survive. I need to survive. Like, for some reason in Dragon Ball in particular, I really love the fights where it's just like a character who's totally outmatched versus a character who literally has complete control of the battle, except the character who is outmatched is so gosh darn slippery that the character that completely outmatches them really has no way to catch them. That's the most hilarious thing to me, because 17 really was playing a game of cat and mouse. Like, Topo got his hands on Frieza and just like he was knocking lights into Frieza. He was literally pounding him through the earth. Meanwhile, 17's like, that's crazy, bro, but I have no idea how I'm gonna help you. and that's the thing. I love that fight because it's wild and it shows a great side of 17. I love strategic characters. When a character's outmatched, but they manage to like hold off their opponent through wits and stuff like that, it's super good. And it's rare in Dragon Ball. I think that's why I like this fight so much. Goku versus Cell. This is a mod thing right here, bro. This is a mod thing because wow, it's just the display of, here's the thing. Cell is the culmination of the entire past of Dragon Ball up to that point, and he's going up against the hero of Dragon Ball up to that point. Really, Goku was our protagonist all the way through. Gohan was being hyped up as the protagonist of Z, arguably. However, Goku is still our hero. He is our hero from Dragon Ball all the way through most of Dragon Ball Z. It wasn't Gohan who killed Frieza, it was Goku. And seeing the culmination of all the past coming against Goku in the form of Cell, all the different techniques, all the different fighting styles, everything coming up against Goku, who had witnessed it all, who had caused it all, and was even part of what was in Cell. It was a mad thing there. And obviously the instant Kamehameha, bro, the Warp Kamehameha. That attack is built so different. I wish Goku did more. You know how cool it would have been to see Ultra Instinct just constantly teleporting around the battlefield and this yelling Kamehameha, bro. Would have been legendary. But that fight really is madness. Mad thing there. The fight's I mean, I don't like Light Grenade as an attack. I think curb stomps are less interesting to watch than fights unless they're done very, very well. And this curb stomp between Imperfect Cell and Piccolo, as much as I like Imperfect Cell in particular, I don't think this is a good showing for them. I like their initial fight much more because it's the two it's the two styling on each other in ways that the other didn't know they could do, and that's much more interesting than the reverse curb stomp that we get with the second round of Piccolo versus Cell, which saddens me because I really like Imperfect Cell. Okay. Now the swag of Dispo for that one moment where like Frieza's like, ho, 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 I've got you in my tail. What are you going to do, you filthy rabbit? And Dispo's like, bro, you know I run, right? And he just drags Frieza. Like, the fight is super, and I'm gonna assume this is like the entirety, like all the way through the Gohan fight. And the crazy thing about this fight in particular is how Frieza is so confident. Only just, like, Frieza consistently gets styled on in this Tournament of Power, and it's one of my favorite things about it. Like, Frieza's still through and through an antagonist for the most part. However, seeing him get clowned on, it's something so special. Like, Frieza was such a threat, and seeing him still be a threat, but get clowned on is the most hilarious thing ever. And of course, the Gohan-Frieza teamwork. Do I think Gohan needed to get eliminated in that moment? Definitely not, but I do think it led to a very interesting conclusion, so I'm fine with the fight. I think the fight's wild. I love the many moments throughout it, from the laser cage that Frieza makes to Dispo dragging Frieza, all that wonderful fight. Gohan versus Dabura. I understand this was to show that Gohan had gotten rusty, but man, I just don't vibe with this fight in particular. It's just not for me. I guess it's because I really liked Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan and seeing Super Saiyan 2 older Teen Gohan get styled on, really, by this random pink man with no build-up. It's kind of sad. I don't know. That fight's very much to me. And the choreography's interesting. That's the thing. Same thing with the Imperfect Cell and Piccolo fight. The choreography for both these fights are interesting, and the abilities used are interesting. I just don't like, really, the character dynamics that come with the fights. Like, I love my character contrasts behind a fight. As much as I love the clashing lights and blah 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 and the high esteem action and the different fighting styles, what really drives a fight for me is the character behind it, or the ramifications of the fight upon a character. And in my opinion, these two just lack it. Dabura, because he was literally given no build up and was forced to fight Gohan. And man, I'm Piccolo biased. Y'all gonna see that soon enough. I love Piccolo. Piccolo's my G. Or well, he's my Namekian. But still, man, I just feel bad for Piccolo. Now y'all may be wondering why I'm putting a curb stomp up in Super Z tier, but Android 18 versus Vegeta did so much for the series, it did so much for Vegeta's character, it did so much for establishing the threat. Okay, Super Saiyans need to be nerfed. If the series was going to be continued, Super Saiyans needed to be nerfed. And Android 18 did it in the most satisfying way possible. Vegeta, who had this hype moment, he had just come off the heels of killing Android 19. He had pulled up. He was like, I am a Super Saiyan, boys and girls. I broke the rules way before y'all ever could. Yeah, I'm all up there. I'm Prince Vegeta, baby. What you gonna do? And then Android 18 breaks both of his arms. Bro! And I think the reason I like this fight so much in particular, like why I enjoy it so much more than other certain curb stomps in Dragon Ball, is because it's not initially portrayed as a curb stomp. The Android 18 is like portrayed to have the lead, but she's mostly showed running from Vegeta. Like, until Vegeta insults her and like ruffles her up a bit, Android 18 is mostly chilling. Like, she really has no interest in fighting Vegeta. So seeing the script flip so hard from Vegeta going from this alpha dominant position due to his transformation into a Super Saiyan, just getting absolutely mollywopped by 18 is so satisfying to watch. I love the fight. I love its ending. And I love how my favorite thing about the fight is Android 18 doesn't kill Vegeta. She easily could have, but she knows that it would be more insulting to him to stay alive knowing that he just got beat by someone he looked down upon. It's sadistic, but it's fantastic. And versus Jiren is I think it's because both of these characters really didn't have much to them at this point. Like, Hit was cool, but he was superficially cool. And Jiren was cool, but he was superficially cool. I feel like, Hit had a little bit behind him, but like the fight has no real emotional investment for me. None of Hit's technique, just like before, none of Hit's time techniques really work, and he just gets thrown out by Jiren. And there's also that funny spinning animation that ended up being one of Jiren's counters in fighters, and I think it's funny, but the fight's alright. it's still, that's the thing. A lot of these fights still look cool, but it's just like the extra elements beyond the superficial ones are lacking for me, and thus I just don't like them. See, it's a mad thing there, bro. Because this is what gave me Universal Goku, Universal Plus Goku. So I have to respect it for that. So I'm gonna put it up there just for that. No, I'm kidding. I like Super Saiyan God. I like Beerus. I like both the character dynamics. What a Super Saiyan God Goku means for Beerus and what Beerus means for Goku. Like, these, reasonably, as far as Goku figured, at that point, before Beerus showed up, he was the strongest thing in existence. Majin Buu was dead. Vegeta didn't have Super Saiyan 3, and he was stronger than the Supreme Kai's in Super Saiyan at the Majin Vegeta arc. So he was chilling. So to see Beerus come forward and reveal to Goku this entirely different world, I like that a lot. And seeing Goku introduce Beerus to an entirely different world of the Saiyans, I like that a lot. That character dichotomy, it's a mad thing, bro. Why is it not in Super Z tier? I think the Dragon Ball Super version of the fight drags on a bit too long. Like, the multi-episode fight, it does more harm than good. It's still a great fight. It's still a fantastic fight. It's still a mad thing, bro. But it doesn't have that extra push. The pacing is a little bit off on that one, so I can't give it its full credit. So Android 18 is just a styler, bro. Android 18 was swagging on this Universe 2 girl. Like, there was no reason for Android 17 to style on this poor woman so hard. It is sad to believe, but golly, was he styling on her. He's just like, darn, you really thought you did something there, huh? Sorry, I'm a main character, chief. And then he just instantly, Android 17 styling on people. That's why that fight's wild. I don't think I need to explain that one. I think this fight's actually wild too, mainly because it presents an interesting dynamic. Like, we all know that Saiyans are inherently, like, to a degree, just evolved humans. They have tails and Zenkai boosts and transformations, but yeah, they still need to breathe. They still can get overheated. It's an interesting dynamic that you rarely see in Dragon Ball fights, and I think that's what's cool about it for me. Like, seeing the ramifications of their simple biology, their biology being a curse instead of a blessing. If they weren't Saiyans, if they were some other race, maybe not, and if they were any other non-organic race or they had some extra thing, Vegeta wouldn't be a problem, but he is, and I think that's cool. I think that's really, really cool, and I love the final flash Vegeta does. Reminds me so much of the original one. Everything's wild about that fight. What is this? Is this Trunks versus the androids? It's alright. I actually don't know. It's wild. The reason I think I like this fight a lot, as I do, is because it's cathartic. Like, this is Trunks murdering two mass murderers. It's perfectly fine. Like, there's no further reason for me to go in depth on that one. It's just Trunks getting revenge, and I think that's very, very nice. Piccolo versus Sonam Purina alongside Gohan. It's alright. I wish we got more out of these Namekians. I don't know. Am I the only one who's kind of hoping they fuse into Piccolo and we get, like, a sort of Piccolo revival? Like, they could defuse later. I'm perfectly fine with that, but, like, man, like, a return to Super Piccolo being relevant again, man, that would have been so nice. I think that's the thing. It's just a missed potential for that fight for me. Because it's cool to see Piccolo and Gohan working together, but they're working against two blank faces. That's the thing. Sonam and Purina, they're two Namekians that absorbed all the other ones for the sake of survival, but it's not as interesting as it could be in my mind. That's why the fight's alright. It's Gogeta versus Broly, Chief. The Budokai 3 intro had us, bro. It knew 20 years in advance, over 20 years in advance. The Dragon Ball Budokai 3 intro knew that this fight would be legendary, but it's Gogeta versus Broly. Like, as much as I love Android 18, the reason this fight is pure spectacle, and I love what it does for both of the characters. It shows Gogeta as, like, legitimately insane, and I almost like that. Like, here's the thing, I like the original interpretation of Gogeta way more. I like the serious, stoic, oh, y'all brought me out, so we're going serious right now, huh? And I love how he just styles on Janemba. However, there's something that hits different about this character, who's half the person that wanted to spare Broly earlier, going from, yeah, you know what, bro, you're not such a bad guy, to, man, I'm gonna kill you, bro. I don't know. There's something about that dichotomy that I love so much in Gogeta, and I like that this is what woke Broly up. Broly was in a enraged trance from the death of Paragus, and meeting a power that he simply couldn't overcome that would actually hit him back. Because really, he met a power he couldn't overcome in Whis. Whis was just styling on Broly. However, meeting a power that was allowed to fight that Broly just couldn't hope to overcome. He couldn't adapt quick enough. And I think the realization of fear in his eyes is what gets me the most. Like, Broly was going crazy, but him staring down that Kamehameha wave is what snapped him out like, oh wait, no, please. And I don't know, I like that part of the fight a lot. I think it's massively out of character for Gogeta, but Gogeta was never canon before, so I guess it's just Gogeta's character. And I don't know, I like it a lot. And of course, the choreography for the fight, insane. They're busting through dimensions. No, that's not that really high of a feat. Dimensions were getting busted open, and like the Majin Buu side, come on now, folks. But still, great fight. Super Z tier, easy. Alright, so while this is a curb stomp both ways, this is Gohan getting styled on by Cell and Cell getting styled on by Gohan, the totality of that fight and what it means for both of the characters is what gets me the most. Because Cell is the culmination. Cell is the past. Cell is the past of all of Dragon Ball going up against the future of all of Dragon Ball in Gohan. Gohan is the first person to ever unlock a new transformation, like fully new transformation of Super Saiyan that's actually fully effective. Gohan is the son of Goku. Gohan is the complete package of really almost every single warrior beforehand because of how he was raised. He was raised with Krillin, he was raised with Piccolo, he was raised with Goku, he worked with Vegeta. The only people he doesn't really have much connection with is the humans, but even then he fought alongside them. And then it's like he's fighting all of them at once within Cell. And of course his own vanity gets to him, and it's just, yeah, come on now. Like, I have to put it up at number one. But the thing I love so much about this fight is just both what the characters mean. It shows Cell an entirely new side. It shows Cell that he's not perfect, that he could always grow stronger. And I like seeing that from Cell. It shows Gohan that he is stronger than he could ever imagine. And I like that. Do I wish it stuck? Of course, man. I couldn't be a Dragon Ball fan if I didn't wish that we got more cool Gohan. But regardless, who does this fight slap? Of course, the final beam struggle, the Father-Son Kamehameha versus the Solar Kamehameha. Easy. Like, if the first beam struggle in the series wasn't so iconic, it would likely be number one for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief. Because that beam struggle is just so satisfying to watch. It's a mad thing in it, but the reason I don't put Majin Vegeta versus Goku in Super Z tier is because it lacks. Because I guess hindsight's 2020. In the moment, if I were to act like Super Saiyan 3 didn't happen, let's say Dragon Ball just gets canceled like a Majin Vegeta versus Goku, then it'd probably make him the Super Z tier. But for the fact that it doesn't, the fact that we know Goku was holding back, the fact that we know that if he really wanted to, he could have just styled on Vegeta and instantly ended the fight and not woken up Majin Buu, that hurts the fight a lot for me. I love and that's the thing, it's very much one-sided. It's Vegeta carries that fight, and that's not good enough. I'm afraid Goku really has no stake in the fight. This isn't very symbolic of anything. And it's sad. I mean, I guess Goku is a symbol. No, but that's the thing. It's just a reflection upon Vegeta. Goku is what Vegeta wants to become. The strongest Saiyan that was raised, not raised on Earth, the strongest Saiyan to ever exist. And that's, up to that point, as far as we knew, that was Goku. And that's the thing. Goku is sort of like a wall that Vegeta is throwing himself up against, while Goku's kind of just there to be the wall. There's nothing really interesting, but the choreography of that fight, the dialogue, everything about that fight is great. It's just missing that little extra spice that we get in Super Z tier because of what happens in the future. I think Piccolo in Goku versus Raditz Super Z tier easy. I think that's a top tier fight. A lot of people don't think so, but I think, the death of Goku, the reveal of the special beam cannon, the teaming up of the previous final villain of the last series versus this new big threat from outer space, the interference of Goku. Everything about this fight slaps. The choreography, the double Sunday, bro, everything about this fight slaps. I don't know why people don't like this one, but for me, it's an easy Super Z tier fight. Like, just look at this image. It's the death. Piccolo got what he wanted. He killed Goku. That's so amazing. It's so amazing. I like it a lot. It's a mad thing, and only because seeing Dispo style on Hit. No, seeing Hit style on Dispo. Hit is dripping in the sauce. He is covered in it. While Dispo was only a disciple of the sauce. Hit was born in the sauce. Dispo merely adopted it. That's what gets me about that fight so much. Like, Dispo thinks he's got something going. He's just, yeah, I'm Dispo. I'm the fastest thing alive. I'm Burter 2.0. And it's like, yeah, you go ahead, kid. You keep going. You keep going. And the way the fight just, like, Hit finally is just like, you know what? You really aren't serving my adaptation anymore. Alright, time to mess you up. And to see just the switch flip so good. And obviously, Super Saiyan God Goku showing up to hit with the assist. Really, really good. I like it a lot. It's very, very good. See, Goku versus Jiren. So this is, I'm assuming this is their round 1. I'm going to go with this being their round 1, and I'm going to assume this is MUI. This is the first appearance of UI. And if so, it's madness. Like, Jiren, once again, is a blank slate for Goku to throw himself up against, but that's sort of Jiren's character. The purpose of his character, to be this unstoppable wall of just pure power, and seeing Goku overcome it, mainly because he's forced to, because he's gonna die if he doesn't. It's a great fight. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. And seeing Goku cycle through all the forms, except for Super Saiyan 3, because no one likes Super Saiyan 3, bro, it's so interesting to watch. And of course, the initial trigger of Ultra Instinct slaps. See, I'm gonna put it in I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the list, and not for any reason that the fight was bad or anything. It's just that I wish Boo was in the Tournament of Power. That's it. That's all I'm saying about that fight. It's just sad. Vegito disappeared too quickly. I know technically it's not a retcon because it was retconned in Dragon Ball Z. However, Vegito was out for like 8 minutes. And man, that's sad. He didn't use Kaioken. He didn't do anything crazy. Man, I just wish Vegito was out more in that fight. That's really it. That's my only critique I have with that fight. Other than that, the choreography, the two characters, the pinnacles of mortals going up against the pinnacles of the divine that's corrupted by the power of mortals. Oh, it's a great fight thematically. It's just that in the physical aspect, it's lacking because the fight's so quick and it seems to disappear in a flash, especially when some of the coolest moments were happening. So yeah, I can't give it that one. That's a mad thing. It made Vegeta. It just destroyed Vegeta. So that's why he needed to get Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, because Blue Kaioken just messed up the entire rival storyline. However, seeing Goku, it gets so strong, like so unbelievably strong, that he pops a bubble in time. Like he's able to move. He's able to move and predict hit. Yo, it's so cool. And it's one of the rare cases where Goku's abilities as a martial artist is highlighted. Like, he started reacting to hit just because he could read Hit's very, very readable movements. And I like that. I love this fight, mainly because of character and story reasons, but I'm gonna just go watch my Android 17 video and you'll figure out why I like this fight. Trunks vs. Cell, it's alright. I don't think it's as cathartic as Trunks vs. the androids, because he really has minimal. I mean, Perfect Cell killed him, but this is not that Cell. This Cell has really done nothing. He just needs to be taken care of, and don't really consider it much of a fight. It's just a curb stomp. I think the fight's wild. I just wish Final Explosion was reused. I feel like if they just had Vegeta do a really big Final Flash or a Gamma Burst Flash like he has in the manga, I feel like I feel like Toppo versus Vegeta would be a lot more well received by not only me but other fans. That's the thing. That's the only thing that holds that fight back, because the fight's beautiful, actually. Like, the fight itself is wonderfully animated, and the character dichotomy between the one who threw away his pride versus the person who would never throw away his pride is great. It's just that I think the signaling with Final Explosion and really ruining that technique for me is what hurts it for me. Do I need to talk about the swag? That fight is carried by swag. It's Goku versus Kefla. That fight is carried by swag. That beam alone. If you just showed me a clip of Goku riding the beam up on his Kamehameha and blasting Kefla out of existence, oh my! That's all we need. That's all we need. Easy Super Z tier. I don't know. Actually, don't know. The 1-inch punch is swaggy. It's all right. I know it's wild. It's wild because it's the last arc's villain getting absolutely mollywopped by this random Super Saiyan, and it's so cool. It's a curb stomp, yes, and Android 18 has no character, but seeing Super Saiyan Vegeta is all I need in life. It's going at the top of madness. Oh, this fight is so beautiful. It's the beauty of the fight. It's the character dichotomy. It's the everything for me, Chief. I have to say, it's wonderful. But this is Super Z tier, bro. This is Super Z tier. So you see how, bro, Jiren versus everyone. That final finish, it's just beautiful. I love that fight. It's wonderful. It's a great conclusion for everyone, really. I never really liked Ace Toppo, I'm not gonna lie to you. He was funny as a joke, but as a fighter, I never really liked him. Actually, no. Actually, I think this fight's pretty wild. I think it's just because we see Android 16 finally get the flex, because, like, it was the 16th Android, and the pattern was, well, except for, like, you could argue the strength of Gero, but Gero didn't try to fight. Typically, the lower you got in number, the stronger they were, because, you know, 18 stronger than 19, 17 stronger than 18, so you would think 16 would be stronger than 17, and oh, he was alright, so I like that. It's a satisfying curb stomp, but it gets flipped so quickly, and Vegeta gets outplayed so badly that it's only alright. Actually, you know what, this is alright too, mainly just because I like seeing these two fight. Just because they're friends fighting, and I really like that. However, this list is definitely missing a couple fights. Like, where's Goku versus Frieza? Like, we're gonna cheat. Where is it? We're gonna pretend this is the original Goku versus Frieza. Easy Super Z tier. There's so many fights missing here. I couldn't find a tier list with more fights than this. I may redo this one in the future just because there's so few fights on here, but that's it. There's my official tier list. Let me see. It is definitely in order too, so there you go with that one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.